everybody, Josh Sigurdson of World Alternative Media here in Duklja, an ancient Roman city built in the 1st century AD and the birthplace of the infamous Emperor Diocletian, here just outside of Podgorica in Montenegro, and it's a very unexplored place for the most part because not a lot of people even know this is here. In fact, I looked online and there was barely anything on this site that wasn't in Serbian or Croatian, so I wanted to do something on this incredible bunch of ancient ruins from ancient Rome, situated strategically on the Zeta Plain. This place is only a 13-minute drive away from the modern big city here, so it's really, really close. You could tell what really started the settlement out here. It's pretty cool. And we have made it to part of the ruins over here. You could see them over there. There's a bunch of walls, and you could see a bunch of remnants over here as well. It's almost hard to tell that some of them are Roman because there's just piles of rocks everywhere, but we're gonna try and take a closer look. Something I find really cool about this area here is that it's pretty much like right just outside the city. There's long grass here. You just kind of walk around the area. There's not really a lot of security. So you just kind of have unfettered access to this amazing ancient place. And then there's a road right in between it. They built a road literally through the ancient ruins. I'm crossing the road here to get to the bigger stuff over here. Here I'm coming up on one of the beautiful ancient walls of the city of Doclea, still standing. It's pretty amazing how completely deserted this area is. There's no tourism. They could make some money off this. I'm walking in long grass here, and there's just like a wall coming out of the ground. And I guess, you know, a lot of people are immune to their history in a lot of places I've found because there's so much of it, they just get used to it. But this is a pretty phenomenal area. And from back there to over here was a major city, so it's a bit of walking down the road here. I'm looking for an opening to this fence. I saw Stevie found her way over there. If my girlfriend can get over there, I should be able to find a way. You can see the Capitol Temple behind me. Obviously, it was an important building. We're just walking down, I guess, an old road here among ruins. It's really quite incredible. You can see these old columns and pillars absolutely everywhere. It's really cool to see, but also very daunting as we ourselves come to the end of an empire to some degree. History is plagued by the ruins of empires who thought they were eternal. We've got another major part of a fortified wall right here. Gonna walk towards it. It's pretty amazing, and you can see, if you look down here, that there are engravings of what looks like crosses of some kind on the ground in the stone, and these old either foundations or sidewalks. It's hard to really say. They look like sidewalks with things that used to come out of them. Maybe wooden structures, who knows? But it's very, very interesting to walk around here because everything is just kind of left alone and preserved without all this tourist stuff all around, which is definitely, in a lot of ways, a good thing. Just look around, my friends. We got unbelievable amounts of ruins. We're just absolutely surrounded by them, and they're quite large. And like I said, we're the only ones here, and I find this to be the case in a lot of the ancient places around the world I go to. It's a pretty cool experience to wander ancient ruins by yourself, especially considering the city was once filled with 40,000 people. This city was once fitted with sewage systems, water, a giant necropolis. It was said to be the birthplace of Emperor Diocletian, and as many of you might know, Diocletian had a heavy hand in his edict, the Diocletian Edict, which stopped people from making over a certain amount of money, charging a certain amount of money. People had to get a job with their family. They couldn't go out and search on the market for a good job. It basically helped destroy the economy of Rome and really did lead to the fall of the Roman Empire. And of course, Diocletian was also famous for going into a bunch of deficit spending and doing a ton of spending. There was somewhat of a revolt against him, but people that opposed him were quickly disposed of. There's no doubt that this place holds so much history, and unfortunately it's pretty much deserted, especially in the year 2020. Obviously there's not a lot of tourism, and to begin with, there isn't a huge amount of tourism happening in the area of Podgorica. Most of it in Montenegro is in Kotor or Budva or Tivat, but nonetheless it's a beautiful area on the Zeta Plain. The city was surrounded by a defensive tower, and according to the site Way to Monte, in 297, Duklja became the capital of the newly created Roman province of Prevalis, which had trade links with Italy, Dalmatia, Macedonia, and Greece. In the 4th century, the city was destroyed several times by barbarian tribes. At the end of the 5th century, it was devastated and destroyed by Western Goths, and in 518 suffered a major earthquake. As a result, the city came to a complete decline, and unlike neighboring Modena, did not turn into a medieval settlement. The Slavs who came here in 620 AD finally destroyed the city, but took its name for the name of its first state, Duklja, from the 11th century during the reign of Byzantium, known as Zeta. After the 9th century, the reign of the Roman Empire was overthrown. The city began to build Christian churches, and around the city was erected a fortress wall and a defensive structure. Most of the history of Christianity of Duklja introduced the ruler John Vladimir, who is revered by the Serbian Orthodox Church to this day and was given the rank of saints. In the 12th century, cultural development declined, and finally Doclea fell in 1189 when Prince Mihailo Vojislavić and the eldest son of Stefan Neman, named Vukan, got the throne. It is believed that it is from these times that the city of Doclea is in ruins. And you can see the remnants of ruins absolutely everywhere, even when you turn and look at this hill over here. You can see the remnants of walls along the edge of the hill. You can still see words carved into the stone. It says Bino Havich Def Vanich or Flafronto A. No idea what that means. You can write below in the comments what you think it is, but I didn't come prepared to learn a different language today. But nonetheless, you see nothing but history everywhere you look at this amazing site. It looks to me like we're in the ruins of an ancient Roman house or business of some kind. It's quite small, as you can see. There's this over here, and then the other wall's over here. So probably not a super large building, but it has some cool architecture, some curved architecture here that makes it look like maybe there's some kind of oven here or some kind of thing that people might have cooked in or made pottery in or something like that. Very interesting to see kind of the architectural dynamics that independent people made way back when. Let's see us try and copy that today. And then we have the ruins of these old sidewalks here, which what's interesting is that they're in better condition than a lot of the sidewalks I see in the big cities today. It looks like, once again, we have further evidence that we've actually lost our way in a lot of ways when it comes to building. It's just incredible how much of it is still in the ground, still not excavated. And then look at this over here. Look at the size of these stones. Now, I've seen some bigger megalithic stones in other places, but there's no doubt these are huge and very heavy to lift, so I'm very impressed by this. This must have been a very important place considering the sheer size of these stones. Just gonna give it a look around here. Here at the base of this larger structure here, you see evidence of waterways and paths for water to travel through, which definitely shows there was a lot of sophistication here. You have minor water erosion here, and you just see that just thousands of years of water have washed through this, and it still looks like it would work today if it was cleaned up a little bit. I still have absolutely no idea what this is, but it's very sophisticated and very large. The stones in the ground and the foundation look even bigger than the ones on top, but are quite a ways into the ground. Very, very interesting. And it looked like the water system was even decorated with this kind of well-carved, fancy bit of architecture here that still stands. And I mean, look at this. I want to be careful because I don't want to do anything that would in any way damage it. But just feel this. I mean, oh yeah, it's still smooth feeling. It's pretty incredible. And here you see things slowly being excavated. What a lot of people don't realize is how long it takes to excavate things, because they have to be careful. And then they're on top of that, they have to get grants, they have to get licenses and permits, and it takes forever. And there's only a certain amount of the year, certain seasons where they're able to do this kind of stuff. But just, I mean, a lot of this was just jutting out of the ground, and there were excavations here almost 1,000 years ago. So, I mean, that's how long people have been digging this place up. You can see another piece of a water duct system here. Very, very sophisticated place, and it was an honor to have been able to come here and see it for myself. Just the little intricacies of things like this, which you could see, you know, they put this little hole in here to hold up some kind of post, probably wooden at the time, and all long gone. That wood's long gone. And just looking in the ground here, you could see little things coming out of the ground, little rocks and stuff that were pieces of the structures and the buildings, and it's just a really incredible place, and I'm very happy I came to Doclea. I highly recommend you too come to Doclea here in beautiful Montenegro. And still in the distance, you see little lumps in the ground where you know there's things under the ground there. You could tell there's things under the ground everywhere here. I just wish they didn't build roads right through the middle of it and build train tracks right through it and everything. Poor judgment when they did that, but nonetheless, there's still a lot standing here, and there's a lot of history to be learned here. Not just about the history, it's about the present and the future and what we can learn from the history so we don't repeat it or even rhyme it. Hey guys, I really appreciate you watching this video, and make sure to check our Ancient Civilizations playlist. I realize that this video wasn't as much about the lost ancient civilizations that came before the Romans and before the Egyptians and before the Olmecs, etc. However, I do believe that this information is important to document, especially in English, since not a lot of people have been to the site of Doclea. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed the video, and make sure to check the outro.